All right, Caitlin, thank you. Let's give you a live look right now. Look at those blue skies on this Monday, and we're talking temperatures in the 50s right now in Boston.
Oh, we'll take it compared to earlier in the weekend. Meteorologist Kellyann Cicalese now. And Kellyann, this warm up, could we reach the upper 60s, maybe 70 by Wednesday?
It's going to be a close call. Maybe a few spots hitting 70, but a lot of this is going to hinge on the placement of a frontal boundary. And at this point, it does look like we'll feel some of that warmth pulling in for Wednesday before a significant drop on Thursday. But see, this is the cold front that's looking to bring that significant cool down, and it's very close by on Wednesday. Right now, models suggest it should stay to our north, allowing for that warm air flow. But any sort of shift in the placement of this boundary will have huge implications on the forecast for our temperature on Wednesday. So, of course, we will keep you updated. Right now, we're on the south side of a boundary. That's why we're feeling the heat not only here, but through much of the eastern half of the country with 50s and 60s. You can see it's much cooler to the north up toward Canada and Maine. So with this warm southwest wind, we are going to see our temperatures continue to warm. But boy, is this wind gusty. Look at this. Wind gusts of 28 to even 45 miles per hour. So it is a windy afternoon. That wind transporting in these 60s for us today, just about 65 in Boston this afternoon. The exception to the warm up will be down toward the south coast, Cape and Islands, where that wind is off of the water. We have a lot of clouds out there today, more clouds than sun, but still a dry outlook for the rest of your 12-hour forecast. With clouds increasing overnight into tomorrow, there is a chance for showers. I'll break down the timeline as we get into an unsettled stretch of weather. On our radar today, lots of clouds, but it is feeling warmer. This warm trend comes at a price, timing rounds of showers in the week ahead.
Sign of spring. We're going to see more April showers to bring the Mayflowers.
Yes, well, we're in a very unsettled pattern over the next couple of days. But with that, you'll notice it's not quite as cold. We were looking at the 30s on Saturday. We've been dealing with the 30s on and off throughout March. But we're looking at more in the way of 50s today, eventually into the 60s. And we could get a little bit closer to the upper 60s by Wednesday. So let's break down what's on our radar. Over the next 12 hours, it's breezy and mild, but there's a good amount of clouds out there, more clouds than sun, but we're relatively rain-free here over the next 12 hours. The chance for showers kicks in overnight into tomorrow, and then that brings us into what looks to be nearly a daily threat of showers right on into the weekend. In fact, we're always keeping an eye on your weekend, and it does appear that we'll hold on to this unsettled stretch of weather. Live look in Boston right now, completely rain-free. We do have some clouds out there, though, and that's the case for really most of southern New England here. So we're sitting in the mid to upper 50s for most spots. I do want to point out, though, as you move northward, getting a little bit warmer, upper 50s to low 60s, and we'll feel more of that warmth starting to show up here as the wind is out of the southwest. For most locations, that is a very warm wind direction, and it's a good breeze. Wind gusts of about 20 to even 30 miles per hour. We were seeing some wind gusts closer to 45 miles per hour down toward the Vineyard earlier. Now, with that wind direction, we will see the mid 60s for most locations in and around Boston. Notice through the Merrimack Valley, our hotspot, we get a little closer to the upper 60s today, so certainly above our average high of about 50 at this point in March. But that wind direction's right off that cold ocean water. So if you're down toward the Cape and Islands, the south coast, you'll be staying in the low 50s this afternoon. There's those clouds on our 12-hour forecast, but we are relatively quiet here in terms of rain as we move through the next 12 hours. There might be a sprinkler or two passing by this evening. I would say between 8 to 10, but I think most of this is going to miss us. Notice our next chance for rain just starting to move in from the west around midnight, and that's something we'll watch in a more scattered form overnight into your forecast for your Tuesday. We hold on to the upper 40s overnight, so it's a relatively mild forecast for our overnight lows. That will set the stage for what looks to be another mild day tomorrow. We get close to 60 inland. I do think because the wind's not quite as strong tomorrow, we'll see a sea breeze develop. So at the coastline, very typical of spring, we get into the 50s. It'll feel a little cooler at the coast tomorrow. Here's the timing for showers. So as we move toward the overnight hours between midnight through about 6 a.m., you can see there is that chance for showers moving through. And in fact, for the morning commute, there might be some pockets of heavier rainfall. I think the best chance for that will be in southeastern Massachusetts. Now, the trend here is for the afternoon to be quiet tomorrow, but I do not want to rule out that chance for a sprinkler or two passing by. Some of the models are suggesting that it'll kind of just be a damp afternoon, although the potential for widespread rain is very low. Then we get into Tuesday night, our next round of rain, and this is moving in after 10 p.m. I do think that will lead us into maybe a this shower to early Wednesday before our next round of rain heading into Wednesday night. This is moving in with a cold front, so I do think with the showers late Wednesday night into Thursday, you have to watch. There might be a few thunderstorms that pass by, perhaps some late overnight rumbles of thunder. This is paused around 2 a.m. So we're getting into early Thursday, and look at this, some signs of snow to the north. That's as cold air starts draining in. I do think that snow potential will stay mainly in northern New England, but the bottom line is that it is going to feel cool and raw as we move toward your Thursday. Shower chances into Friday, not looking quite as wet for the home opener, so I'm actually feeling a little more optimistic for our Friday forecast. Still looking cool in the 50s, but at least it shouldn't be a washout based on what we're seeing today. So we will keep you updated. That's an important forecast. Jessica and Antoinette.
No, their names are Kenny.
Good taste in music, too. Getting out and about today, it might look intimidating, those clouds, but we're not looking at much in the way of rain. Enjoy it. We're in the mid-60s this afternoon. Rain chances increases over the next couple of days. We might even have a few rumbles of thunder on Wednesday night. We are keeping an eye on the forecast for the Red Sox home opener. Notice it's a little bit cooler, Antoinette. We go from near 70 on Wednesday back into the 40s.
We know to expect anything on opening day here.
It really can go any way. That's spring for you.
All right, Kellyann, thank you. I'll see you tomorrow morning on the Eye Opener, but Kellyann and Jessica have another half hour of news ahead. Here's Jessica.